I see our world right now. I see our world feasting on fear. And we have suicide rates are off the charts right now. Depression is everywhere. I'm like, why is that happening? Because we're listening to what the devil says instead of what the Lord says and wondering why we're under this anxiety. Are you with me? The spies who went in the land, we all know the story. I love this story. It's just a great story for us because Moses sends 12 spies in the land. They come back going, man, the land is amazing. It's more amazing than we even thought it was. It's flowing with milk and honey. It's just a beautiful land. But we saw the Anakim. We saw giants. And they made this statement, which has been repeated so many times. He said, but we became like grasshoppers in our own sight. We became, listen to this, like grasshoppers. They saw giants, and the first manifestation is we became like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in theirs. I'd like to point out that when you don't have faith in you, then people don't have faith in you. You tell people how to think of you by the grasshopper you become. Like you can always tell the size of a man by the size of a problem it takes to discourage him. And they said, we're like grasshoppers on our side. We're just like, and I love Caleb. Caleb stands up. He's my favorite guy in the story. Joshua gets all the credit, but I actually love Caleb. And Caleb's like, and they shall be to us our daily bread. I just love it. They shall be to us our daily bread. And I love the fact that John the Baptist came eating grasshoppers. Like he's like, I was born to eat grasshoppers. I'm making the crooked places straight, the rough places smooth. I've come to straighten this out. And I'll just eat the things that kept you out of the promised land. Now, when you eat that kind of diet, you preach in the wilderness. No one's going to invite you into the sanctuary, but still is a very good point. I wrote this, facts will never satisfy a fearful heart. You can't reason a spirit of fear out of a faithless person. You can only cast it out. People who analyze things until they are paralyzed aren't looking for ways to win. They're searching for reasons to justify their unbelief. Unbelief grows in inaction. Inaction rocks radical faith to sleep. Fear often masquerades as wisdom, but it's a homeless coward, unwilling to live in the shelter of responsibility and perseverance. Never in the history of the world has so many been given so much, yet we entertain ourselves to death and wonder why our lives are riddled with broken dreams and lifeless luxury. We are convinced that we are victims of the villains of successful people. I want to read that again. We are convinced that we are the victims of the villains of successful people in that their prosperity has somehow limited our opportunities and derailed our destinies. But the truth is that faith in God, bathed in courage and propelled by perseverance, will ultimately yield divine favor and supernatural success. Can I read that line one more time? But the truth is that faith in God, bathed in courage and propelled by perseverance, will ultimately yield divine favor and supernatural success. That's just a good word right there. Worry is a squatter living rent-free in my mind and destroying my house of faith. Worry plants weed seeds of destructive possibilities in my brain, which infect my imagination with movies of mayhem and madness. I want to make doubt a homeless vagabond that finds no habitation in my yard of possibility. That's a good word right there. That's a good word.